in order for you to expand who you are. Because when we forgive, we release the weight, right? And then we are able to open up our heart space. Pains go. It really does take a bit of time and patience, kindness and patience with ourselves too. Hello, my beautiful friends. I hope that you have started your day with nothing short of health, wealth, peace, love, and light. So I found myself in a space where I was thinking a lot about a situation that I had with one of my relatives. It wasn't anything major, but it was one of those situations where I was like, this is something that I need to reflect on, because it caused a bit of tension in my system, right? And it took me back to a time, oh, by the way, I got through it very easily, but it did take me back to a time where I thought, and I truly believe that I had forgiven situations and persons involved in the situations, and myself, in fact, until those memories returned to me. And it felt as though I was actually reliving those moments with the exact same emotions that had the same level of intensity. And I realized that it's really not easy to release things from your spirit, to forgive, because sometimes we hold on to these things, right? We hold on to the pain and the trauma. For example, I couldn't allow people, or to say the least, like I was able to allow people in, but I couldn't allow them in a romantic way, romantic styles, because of the past trauma that I had, right? And this replayed itself for countless years. And because it did replay itself over and over again inside of my mind, it did manifest itself through different individuals at different points in my life over and over again. I didn't understand why at the time, until I was able to just look at the situation and say, no more. Like I couldn't handle the fact that I was repeating the same pattern over and over and again, where I was feeling just the sense of just a weight of the same type of trauma. It was exhausting and I could not handle it. So when I said no, I became intentional about learning how to forgive. And I decided to learn how to forgive for my peace of mind, how to truly forgive my heart, because I realized that when I forgave my heart, it wasn't just about things that I had done. It was also about the things that had transpired in my life that caused me this pain and trauma. It was also about the persons involved who somehow had to play a role to teach me these lessons that I needed to learn along my life's journey. So I truly had to forgive for myself, right? And in this season where I learned how to forgive, I learned how to cry, go to bed, wake up, forgive some more, and then cry, just so that I could release this thing from my spirit, whatever it was that I had replayed in my mind for far too many years to count, until I had nothing left to forgive. Because you do get to the point where these heavy emotions that you carry, the ones that you really have to give your attention and time and focus, the heavy ones that have caused you countless traumas, that the ones that have repeated themselves, I truly had to sit down with them, and it was very exhausting. By no means was it easy, but learning how to forgive these incidents was so important to me, so much so that when the easier ones, I can't say that forgiving is easy, but when the lighter things resurfaced in my mind, I was able to get through those moments a lot easier. I was able to get through them and sit with them, because I learned how to forgive the deeper wounds. I have so much to do in the world. I feel inspired to do a lot. By having this weight on me, I couldn't have it in order for myself or in order for my spirit to walk forward into the things that I desired, in order to walk into the manifestations that I wanted to, I wanted to birth into reality, right? And what I realized is that these traumas that we experience, right, they need a space in our bodies for us to give them attention, for us to actually sit with them instead of them sitting with us. So we learn through them, we sit with them, but we do not dwell in them. There's a huge difference between dwelling and sitting with an experience that needs to express itself in your body. It needs to show where the hurt comes from, because when you understand where the hurt comes from, or where you experience the pain inside of your body, you learn how to embrace it for what it is, and let it be what it is, and let it teach you, if it has to teach you something, teach you whatever lesson it has to teach you, in order for you to grow in your life, in order for you to expand who you are. Because when we forgive, we release the weight, right? And then we are able to open up our heart space. We are able to open up the being in us that holds back at times, because we are afraid of hurts that exist, or that come with the journey that we are on, right? And I think of it this way. I remember when I was like a teeny weeny bitty baby, I used to play around with I used to play around with dangerous things, because I was not afraid of anything. I really wasn't afraid of anything. And I cut my hand with this a razor, because I was cutting this puzzle box, trying to figure out how to maneuver this thing, which was very unfortunate. But the wound was very big, right? And it needed a lot of time. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. Yeah. Doesn't mean the wound took a very long time to heal. And that's how, actually, I elaborate more on this in the episode that has to deal with our internal wound. But just to give an overview of this analogy, I realize our internal wounds work in the exact same way, where the deeper the wound goes, the deeper these traumas and the pains go, it really does take a bit of time and patience, kindness and patience with ourselves to get through whatever it is that has traumatized our spirit, right? One of the things that I also learned is that when we shift our mindset, let me put it this way. When we shift from a state of presence to reliving these memories that haunt us, we are taking time away from our present moment. We take time away from just being, because we're so stuck in what has happened, and we end up when we end up replaying these memories, we do get stuck in what was instead of focusing on what is. Because what ends up happening, right, is that when we don't face these things that have traumatized us, they linger, and they are active traumas. They are so active that if you so much as mention the person's name, the person's, or not even the person's, the place, or anything that's related to the situation, it almost triggers us, and we go back into that space, and we return into something, or rather a memory that is no longer there, no longer should have any power over us. But if we don't release it from our spirit, it still lingers. And that's one of the important reasons that that's really one of the major reasons why we need to learn how to forgive. Because when we learn how to truly just sit with these moments that have had a deep impact in our life without having any judgment about them, without giving them our emotional reaction, we realize that, or should I say rather, when I learned how to do this, I was able to let my heart breathe a little better. I was able to just be in a space where I could let it be. Just let it be. It's one of the most excruciatingly long processes. It depletes your energy. You feel drained to actually face something or look at something that is heavy on your spirit, that has traumatized you in more ways than one. Because these things end up trickling. Okay, I'm digressing, but they do end up trickling into other things that it shouldn't have an effect on, right? But having them and being able to sit with them, and the energy that they deplete from us, when we get to the other side, it's a different kind of freedom. By forgiving, you just let go of the weight, and you don't carry things that no longer deserve to be with you where you desire to be. You let go of things that are just not meant to be there anymore. You let go of things that were supposed to teach you things about this life that we live in, but they don't have, you're able to release them better, and they don't have any power over you, because you can sit with them and they don't sit with you. So by learning how to forgive yourself, your heart, your spirit, your mind, the persons involved in whatever situation you were in or you found yourself in, forgiving the situation itself, you become a little bit more free. Your heart becomes a little bit more open and free. Remember to be kind and patient with yourself and your thoughts. My name is Ola Gang, and I am your accidental therapist. Thank you.